Hey everyone, it's Carl, and I was thinking the other day while I was running my game. There's things I do and I think about all the time that maybe some other folks who are new to the gaming or new to game mastering might not think about. And I wouldn't say they're the fundamentals, but there's some things that are interesting that add to the play style that you really shouldn't forget about. Adventure and intrigue. Fighting monsters out of our league. We'll roll the dice and pray they're nice. A +2 and I might succeed. Hi, I'm Carl Davis. I'm with Tabletop Tango, and if you like what you see, please like or subscribe. That would just be awesome. And today I decided I want to talk about some items that are easy to forget about. Again, they're not really fundamentals, but they're interesting things that it's easy to forget about, fall into your old ways and habits and forget about them. So let's talk about it. So the first one is don't forget to do the yes and. So in improv, yes and means somebody says something to you, you say, yes, that's true, and I'm going to add something to it. In the world of gaming, yes and means let the players drive the narrative, have some cool ideas, and then run with them. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a thing that happens for sure. And here's some other stuff that happens because of that. Let the players help drive the narrative. Don't say no. Can I do this? No. Can I do that? No. Well, what if I try to circle back around and I do this and I do that? No, that won't work. It's just not part of the game. The game is all about yes and. The flip side of that, though, is too much yes and you can drive, overpowered parties. So don't be a pushover either. If the players come to you and say, well, I have this cool character idea that has 5 multi-classes and it's this and it's that, and it's going to really crazily mess up the game. Yeah, you're allowed to say no. But try the no but, where it's, no, that's not really going to work, but here's something that we can do together to get that character concept across that works within the game. And this is true of anywhere where it really is just a crazy idea that has no possibility of working. It's just kind of, it's just dumb or whatever. And you're going to say no. Try the no but, which is no. But what about this? What if we try this? What if your character did this instead? Here's some different responses that might happen. So, yes, and build on the player's ideas, what they're telling you. No, but if you're going to say no because you're going to try to keep things from being overpowered, or there's things that are just too crazy, we'll use the no, but. The next one is forgetting that the dice are there to add a random factor. May seem obvious, but if failure isn't interesting, then why are you rolling the dice? So you roll the dice to determine whether something happens or not. And if it's something that just should happen, or it's something where failure kind of brings the story to a halt, or it's something where failure is not really interesting, maybe you shouldn't roll the dice. Maybe it should just happen. So if somebody's competent and they want to do something, you don't always have to roll the dice. They're competent. Let it happen. Like somebody's trying to scale a chain link fence. Somebody's after them, the bad guys. Yeah, you roll that climbing because we want to see if you got over fast enough. But if you're just standing by the fence, just let them climb it. It'd be really ridiculous to roll the dice just to say, oh, no, you couldn't climb a fence. Doesn't make sense. So only roll dice when it's interesting, failure is interesting, where success isn't guaranteed, and it's more interesting to the story. Next one is don't forget about the 3 clue rule. Now, what the 3 clue rule is and what it states, and I'll read it kind of verbatim, is for any conclusion you want the PCs to make, you want to have 3 ways or 3 clues that get them to that conclusion. And why is that? And I'll leave the link to where I found the 3 clue rule. It's been around for a while. The idea is players are going to miss stuff. This isn't a TV show where each clue follows to the next clue until the Law and Order guys catch their bad guy. The players are going to miss something. You may think that having this crate marked with the vendor's name, the big evil corporation's name, will make the players say, oh, it's the big evil corporation. They might just say, oh, it's just, they just store their stuff here. Okay, no big deal. You may think that the blood on the windowsill is an obvious thing that they should go outside and see where the person climbed down, and that's going to lead them. but they look at it and go, oh, that blood, that's interesting. We should take a sample of that and head back to the lab. If you have just one way for them to succeed and make the right conclusion, it's really hard to ensure that they're going to be able to take the right path. So that's where the 3-clue rule comes in. Give them 3 ways to make a conclusion, or 3 different pieces of information that help them make the right conclusion. Another one that's very easy for new game masters is forgetting that the players own their characters. Now, I made a video that was called Don't Bum Your Players Out, GMs Don't Bum Your Players Out. And one of the things that really bums them out is taking away their player agency. Don't forget that the players own the characters. It's their character. They get to define how it reacts. They get to define how it feels. They get to define what it does. It's their character. So don't forget that. Another one is, for new game masters, this can be uncomfortable sometimes, but don't forget, you need to have those adult conversations. So when something's happening, or somebody's, violating one of the lines or veils where you said, hey, we're not going to cross this line, or somebody's making somebody uncomfortable at the table, or somebody's being disruptive, you need to have those adult conversations to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Take the player aside. We're all adults. Even if you're playing with younger, like teenagers, you still can have those serious conversations that say, hey, the game is like this. It works this way. You're being disruptive. Here's some things we can do to make it better for everybody, including yourself. Don't forget that those conversations are important. Another one is, don't forget your session 0. And I'm not saying, just doing the session zero. I have a video on session 0 that has, all the details of everything you might want to cover. What I'm talking about is forgetting about to follow it. You created your session 0. You did all the work. You made the, here's the lines and veils. Here's the behavior expectations. Here's the flavor of the game. Here's all these things. Don't forget that. So if you said we're playing kind of an upbeat, pulpy game, and when you start playing it, it's all about horror and death and macabre, and that's not what the players signed up for, because in session 0, that's not what you discussed. Don't do it. Work to meet the session 0. Don't forget that. And then last one is for you, the game master. Don't forget, you're there to have fun too. You're not there just as a chore. You're not, there to churn the crank and just build stuff for everyone else to enjoy. If you're not having fun, you're not going to do the justice to anything. You're not going to make fun adventures. You're not going to, the players not going to be able to feed off your energy and your excitement. So be sure to have fun. And if you're not having fun, maybe you need to play something different, build out a new world, have those adult conversations with your players, and, do something different. So those are just some of the things that rolled in my mind. Obviously not an exhaustive list, but just some stuff. Remember the yes and, remember no but. Remember that roles should have consequences and significance and not just be an impediment to the story. Remember there's that 3-clue rule. Very, very good stuff to keep in mind. Players have their agency. Make sure that they control their characters. Don't forget that. Have those adult conversations when it's important to get everything on the table and discuss things. Make sure you're following your expectations that you set in session 0. And then have fun. Don't forget to have fun. So anyway, these were just some things that I thought of the other day, and I thought I'd share them. And hopefully some of these went, yeah, you know what? Sometimes I forget that too. So this is Carl with Tabletop Tango, and I appreciate you watching, and I hope you come back next time. Thanks. Bye. Adventure and intrigue. Fighting monsters out of our league. We'll roll the dice and brave their nice. A +2 and I might succeed. Whether Cthulhu or D&D, or what's on drive-through RPG. I'll roll the dice and brave their nice. A critical I could really need.